In this episode, we are going to talk about the shawl that I'm currently knitting, a pair of socks, a hat that I started, and my first ever garment design. Let's get started. Good day everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mariette, also known as die Boervrou, and this is episode 57 of the Crafty Stitches Podcast. Today that I'm recording this is Wednesday the 21st of February 2024, and this episode will go up on YouTube on Saturday the 24th of February 2024. I'm coming to you from a hot South Africa. I am very hot this morning and very happy that I have this top to wear because it is a little bit cooler while we are experiencing extreme heat. So I have brought a little bit of ginger tea that I added some ice to so that it's nice and cool to drink on while we talk about all of the projects. And I hope you have something to drink as well while we chat a little bit. So as you can see, I have a big finished object and it is also what I'm wearing. So let's get started with finished projects. So as you can see, I have finished my Riika top. This is the second one that I've made and I am super happy with this one. So my first one was a little bit too big and it's all my fault because I did not look at my gauge, row gauge or stitch gauge for that matter. Didn't bother me that much, and this time I did lots of maths and figured out exactly how much bigger it will be and all of the things. And with all of that knowledge, I tried to replicate the centimeters that the pattern gauge would give me and then knit the amount of centimeters in my own gauge, if that makes sense. Alright, but this top was made with the L Cotton's 4-ply yarn. And it is in the color 003 baby blue, and it has 156 meters on 50 grams, and it is 100% cotton yarn. This garment was knitted with 3mm needles as recommended in the pattern, and my gauge was off. Let me just check my notes. The pattern gauge was 30 stitches by 40 rows and my gauge was 28 stitches by 36 rows. So I had 4 rows less in 10 centimeters and 2 stitches less, which means the circumference of the top, if I knit the amount of stitches in the pattern, I would get a 6 centimeter bigger circumference garment. So I knit a size small and it came out great. I'm very, very happy with how it's looking. I did do quite a lot of modifications, as I mentioned, in amounts of rows knit and that sort of thing. But I also did a change on this one. I added short rows only to the front before the ribbing. So I took a little bit of footage from the purple Riika that I made, and I'll pop it here on screen. And here you will be able to see that the front hem is making a little curve where it lifts up a little bit in the front. And then you'll also might be able to see that the 3x3 rib underneath the arm is not straight lines. It goes up in a curve like this. It's because I sew it shut because it was too big because of my gauge issue. But anyway, so the only real issue that I don't like about the purple one is the fact that the straps sit on top of my shoulders instead of next to my neck, and as I mentioned, the curve thing. Oh, well, obviously the big armholes is also a problem, but I mean that I rectified, so that's not a problem. That is all my fault. So I also took a little bit of footage of the blue Riika on my body before it was blocked. And here you can see that it fits like a glove before the blocking process. And I actually really love it. I knew that the yarn will definitely grow a little bit. It will relax and just become a little bit wider. So I was expecting that. And in this footage, you'll be able to see that the hem is more straight. You don't really see that short rows that I did in the front. So I was sitting in bed doing these short rows, or starting the short rows, and I don't know what happened, but when I looked at the Riika top, I saw that I made 2 mistakes, and one of them was 24 centimeters from where I was back. I accidentally pulled 2 knit stitches, and I was sitting in bed and I was thinking, oh no. And then luckily this garment is knitted, so I could just knit to the column of stitches, because I did 2 pull stitches on top of each other in a knit column, and I could drop down. So I took some pictures of this disaster to share with you, but luckily it's knitting. You can drop down 24 centimeters and go fix a mistake if it bothers you. So on the other side of the garment, I also made the same type of mistake where I accidentally pulled a knit stitch, and that was not so far down, but I also dropped down and fixed that one. And then I realized that I think these mistakes happened while knitting in the dark during load shedding and not being able to really see what I'm doing. But anyway, luckily it was an easy fix, so it didn't take me that much time. I actually sat in bed with my crochet hook and just quickly fixed that, and then I continued on with my short rows. So I just wanted to mention this because we all do make mistakes, and yeah, if it doesn't bother you, you can just leave it. But I decided I want to be able to wear this garment going to town, going everywhere, and not feel like, oh, please don't look at my mistake. So I just thought it's not that big of a deal. I can just quickly fix it. And I don't think it took me more than 10 minutes to do both. So it was really, really quick. Anyway, so now I'm very happy with this garment. And then I gave it a little bath, and I took 2 pictures again to show you what it looks like on my body, because I am a little bit cramped in here. I cannot really stand up and show you properly. So that is what it's looking like on my body, and I am super happy with this garment. I think I've already worn it 3 times and I love it. I really, really love it. So the garment weighs 245 grams. So I got this whole garment out of 5 balls of L cottons 4-ply. So all of the other bind offs, the neck and the arms, I did mention in the previous episode, but the binding off at the hem, I again did Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy bind off, and I bound off with a 3.5mm needle so that my stitches are nice and loose, and it worked perfectly. I really, really like to do the Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy bind off in a size or 2 needle sizes bigger than what I knit the ribbing in, because it just gives me that extra little bit of stretch that I always need, and I absolutely love it. Alright, and then I thought I will just mention, because I do have my book here where I make a little bit of notes, I will just mention here that I started this top on the 7th of January 2024, and I finished it on the 14th of February 2024. So that's just over a month knitting on this garment. I'm very happy. very, very happy with it. And I love the fact that it sits next to my neck and not there on my shoulders like the purple one. Very happy. Alright, so that is the finished project. Very successful finished project. Alright, whips. I have 4 whips to share with you today. 2 you have already seen, so let's jump in with those. The first one is my Spread Kindness shawl, and this project is knit with Knotty Habit 4-ply fingering 100% superwash merino yarn. It has 400 meters on 100 grams, and that is the colorway. This is what it looks like in the yarn cake. I still love this colorway. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, love it. Alrighty, let me see. Got my needle tangled up a little bit. Okay, so in the previous episode, I was at this little marker from Mariette from Pincushion Crafts. And I've added that much. It is absolutely beautiful. I really, really love it. I like the texture a lot. And yes, I'm knitting this project with 3.5 millimeter US 4 needles. And it's the recommended needles in the pattern, if I remember correctly. And yes, this is not really a priority project, so I just knit on it a little bit in between, but I think it must change a little bit. I really want to finish it. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm suspecting some coldness coming or something, but I would really love to get this one at least halfway before the next podcast episode. Let's see if I can do that. I'll try and stick to that goal. We move the marker up quickly. There we go. Okay, I think that is all that I can mention for this project. Yes, cannot wait to actually get it finished. I'm enjoying the process of knitting it right now, and it's just I have other things that is a little bit of a bigger priority that I need to get done, and things that really steal my attention. I think that is the biggest problem. But anyway, right, then my second project is the socks that I am knitting for Anton, my husband, and I did put in a little bit of work on it, but the first sock is not finished yet. So this socks I'm knitting with my own pattern, the DB Toe Up Socks pattern, and as the name suggests, it is a toe up pattern, and I am knitting it on 2.25 millimeter DP ends, and I'm using the Knit Pro Smart Sticks for that. And this is what I have so far. Let me see, turn it this way. So in the previous episode I was at this little marker, which is also a marker from Mariette from Pincushion Crafts, and I have finished the gusset, turned the heel, did the slip stitch heel flap, and I am onto the leg. I'm about 2, 4, 5, almost 20 rounds into the leg. I'm not sure how long I will make the leg. Maybe 60 or 70 rounds and then do a 20 round cuff. I think so. But anyway, so that is going very well. Let me show you the yarn label. This yarn is a opal yarn that I bought from Mariette from Colors of Amalfi. And this is the colorway name. Right, and it has 425 meters on 100 gram ball, and it is a 75% virgin wool and 25% polyamide blend. And I really like the opal yarns. I don't know, I really like working with it. I love the way that it holds up, and I do follow the instructions, and I do not use fabric softener on them. So yes, some of our socks get washed in the washing machine with the clothes. I don't know why I've just done that from the beginning. I was not really that bothered about them, but the ones that is made from opal yarns and the Regia yarns, I wash by hand and then just spin it in the machine and put it out to dry without fabric softeners. I have washed one pair of Regia socks in the washing machine with fabric softener. Even though their label does not state that you should not use fabric softener, I could see that it made a big difference in the in what the sock looked like. So I did not do that again. The socks is still fine, they just look a little bit like they got an electrical shock. They like, I don't know. It's very funny. So that is the socks. Very happy with that. Let me just take a sip of ginger. Sure, that is good. All right, so the next project that I would like to share is only a swatch, or a little bit of a swatch. So in the previous episode I mentioned that I would like to knit the 1898 hat for my husband, and I want to knit it in this yarn, which was a lovely gift that I got. It's a very nice dark gray, and I know that the yarn weight is not the same as intended in the pattern, so I just used the needle size suggested in the pattern, and I cast on a little garter square to do a gauge swatch. I only knit a few rows and not much else yet. So I think the pattern mentions that the gauge in garter stitch should be 20 stitches by 36 rows, and I cast on 26 stitches, and this swatch is about 12 centimeters before blocking. So I have never worked with this yarn before, and I mean it is a merino alpaca blend, so I will definitely knit a whole block, measure it up, and then wash and block it and see how it grows or don't grow, and then see what my gauge is if I need to adjust needles for it. I'm just thinking, I wonder how it should be used. Oh, it's machine washable with a wool program at 30 degrees Celsius. Do not tumble dry. Steam iron at low heat, or you can dry clean it and dry it flat. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so I will see when I finish the swatch what I get after it's been washed and blocked. And then we'll see if I need to adjust needles or what can I do to make this yarn work for this hat. Because I would really like to use it for this hat. Alright, now my last work in progress that I would like to share with you today is my first ever garment design. And I am so excited. I cannot even start to tell you. I don't think there is words in my vocabulary to state how excited I am. So for this garment, I'm using the Piana Yarns sock yarn. It is a 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon blend, and it has 366 meters on 100 grams, and I'm using the colorway Victoria, and this is one of my yarn cakes. And I cast on the project. I just did the ribbing, the short rows, and I just started the first little bit of the lace work. So there is not much to see yet, but this is what I have so far. So as you can see there, I started with a twisted rib, and then I did short rows at the back, and then I just started doing some lace. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I don't know. So I just started to work on the lace patterning. This is currently on my shortest cable that I have. What length is this cable? There should be numbers on it. Up there. It is 20 centimeters or 8 inches with some 4.5 millimeter shorty tips from Chaigu. I just find it a little bit easier to do the joining in the round and the first bit of the garment on the smaller circular needle, but of course you can do it on magic loop. I did the same for my ranunculus that I've knit on the 4.5 millimeter needles, the last one. I don't think I had the short tips when I knit the long sleeved one, but I found with the neckline the shorter circumference works very well for me, so I just keep knitting until it is just absolutely too cramped on the needles, and then I just swap out the needle for a longer cable and the longer tips. I usually use these for the sleeves. But anyway, this is looking so beautiful. The Piana Yarns yarn is a semi-solid, and you can see there the variation in color, and I love it. It gives so much character to the project, in my opinion. I really love it. So yes, this is my first garment design, which the pattern will be coming soon. And I will share more of all of the details with you in future episodes. I just wanted to show you what I have so far. Oh, let me add a marker because I will not remember. There we go. And then I can also share the sweater's name with you because I have decided on that already. So this garment will be called the Fairy Lily Sweater. I'm super excited. I'm so excited about this project. I started the project with the long tail cast on because it's what I know, it's what I love. I just love doing that. And I think it makes a beautiful cast on. It's got this little beautiful finish at the top and I love it. I really do. Alright, let me not sit here and bore you to death with my comment, but I am looking forward to knitting up the garment and showing it to you in all its glory as we go along. Yes, very happy. I think this year I will at least have a long sleeved sweater, a new one, before winter arrives. So yes, that is the works in progress that I have to share with you today. And I think we can move over to news. I do not have much news for you today, but I can tell you that this Sunday, which is the 25th of February 2024, at 5 o'clock South African Standard Time, we will be having the 23rd episode, I think, of the Surplus Yarn Stories, which is a monthly program that I host with my friend Liani from Independence Yarn Crafts. And this month we will be having a live session, so you can keep your eyes open for that one. I will definitely share the link down below with you, and I will also put it up on Instagram and in my stories. For this episode we will also be having a guest, and our guest this month is Martha Mitchell. So Martha also has a podcast here on YouTube, and I will link that for you down below so that you can check that out if you're interested. And we hope to see you on Sunday afternoon, where we will be having the live, and you can come and chat with us and ask Martha some questions, and we are very excited. We share all of our projects that we make with our leftover or surplus yarns, and we will be sharing the progress of our surplus projects, of which the biggest one for me is my Battenberg blanket, which I'm actually knitting and not crocheting. So I'm very excited. I have made good progress on this blanket this month. So come join us on Sunday and we can chat a little bit about that. That is all that I have for you for this episode. Please tell me in the comments down below what you're working on and how's your projects going, what is on your hook and on your needles. I would love to chat with you about that. And then if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. If you are new, I hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you will consider sticking around. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see any more of my content. And I will see you in the next one. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.